If you haven't subscribed or please do. Or if you don't want to subscribe to my channel and just pop by, more and welcome to check it out. And just leave a thumbs up if you can. Be much appreciated. So I'm touching bases here with, I noticed a lot of, especially under Google News, everything, social media that I'm seeing more and more. I noticed, especially this year. I mean, probably because they haven't really basically told a lot more, but now it's starting to see more and more with the police with distracted driving and police using drones. If you notice in my YouTube channel, under my videos in short, I went down in a month ago, over a month ago, to the Drone Discovery Day, and the Kingston police were there with their drones, and they had two of them. They had the M30 and the M300 Matrice DJI drones. Very expensive drones. The retailing, they're over the 20,000 mark. Really big drones. And the difference with these big high-end drones that they're using and stuff like that, they're waterproof. They got the PL rated on them for with rain. And days like today, raining, it doesn't matter, rain or shine. These drones can be up in the air in seconds, and it don't bother the drones with their weather protectant on them. So I notice a lot big time with distracted driving. So there's a lot more people getting busted now, and the police are using drones doing more than trafficking stops. I notice they're using more drones more big time, and they're a big asset, right? So they're they're an asset for the police to define to distracted driving. And I noticed too, like big time, um, it's like they're using them more than on feet, right? So anyways, get down to my story here. Long story short, it's basically they're seem to be using more with drones now. I noticed the past 2 years big time, and I noticed this year, especially here in Canada, in Ontario, that they're using them more for people to really crack down. And that's the thing, me being a pilot for 5 years and flying drones for 5 years, you never know till it's too late till you have a drone tracking right on you, and with police using the drones to see if people are from using their phones, whatever, they just basically have, the drone operator there in the sky communicating with the dispatcher people with the police wherever they are, and they just get you from there. And seeing with the Kingston police, what I learned from seeing what they use for their traffic control, 401 especially, where they're trafficking for speeders or anything, accidents, whatever, they're using drones, like helicopters. Back in the 90s, me growing up, this was old school, right? And this was basically the tool for tracking down stuff. And now the drones are, the new era these days, right? Like to shout out to Remo, shout out to SRM 1985. Thanks for joining, and David from Montreal. Thanks for joining live on my show. Thank you. And yeah, so it's pretty cool to see how the technology has gone up big time with drones. And being a pilot with the drone I have, compared to what the police have, mine's like a Walmart toy, you know. But still, mine costs $6,000, but mine's expensive enough. But what they're using now today, they're way more expensive because, like I say, these Matrice 30, the 300, you know, the RTKs, these drones are weather resistant. Doesn't matter if it snows, it doesn't matter if it rains, it doesn't matter. They're always ready to go. And when seen basically, um, when I saw the Kingston Police how they have their setup with the van, it was really cool. So it was just like me being a little kid in a, you know, candy shop, seeing what they have and how they have it set up. Okay. Um, I didn't really film and take a whole lot of pictures for the inside of the van, but I can explain it to you guys one on one a little bit better. I mean, you can check it out. It's on my shorts. It's under my videos on Droning with Jamie. Okay. And you will see basically what I seen and what I videoed for everybody. So yeah, Roman, they're using them for deliveries in certain states now. Absolutely, with drones. I find now, like, since with the technology and everything, the way everything is going right now, there's so many drones and airplanes. It's not a good mixture. Because you get all these other idiots that are just don't care and just send it up and just it doesn't matter to them. And this is when tragically things happen. But there hasn't been anything really tragic in with drones other than the one in the States. But that was you know, hit by a Canadian water bomber, but it was you know, a freak accident and careless accident, and there was a big major you know, big headlines with it last year with the drone. Hello, Luckstar. Hello, bro. Hello, bro. Thank you very much for joining. And JNES for life, done and like. I am good. Thank you very much. I am very good, bro. Very good, bro. And I'm doing more live videos. No music, no nothing, you know. Broadcasting a little bit more with my channel. Okay. I'm working on it, bro. So, but back to the Kingston Police, when I saw the setup, it was very beautiful. Like, it was, they had they had 20 batteries all charged at once. Okay, always going. So that they were well organized, well equipped. I was very impressed. They had a separate fuse breaker in the van. Okay, in the van. So they have a lot of power out tech in these big tall cube vans, Mercedes vans, not really cube vans. And it was cool to see this technology, how they had this set up. And they had like a 50-inch screen TV hooked up. So they also had the RC controller hooked up to the controller to the TV. Okay. So they had the TV hooked up to it. So they live feed so everybody could see on the TV screen what was actually happening live time with the drone. And it was cool to see how that stuff, you know, worked. And it was cool with the Matrice that, you know, this here is just sitting in the sky 300 feet, right? 300 feet. And it was tracking the subject like no days tomorrow, you know? And that drone didn't have to move. So it was cool to see how the technology is, how they would do that with basically air traffic control, you know, all with drones, right? This is cool how You know, the technology is the era these days, and I like that I'm still into flying drones from today and what my drone can do compared to the more uh, expensive, more drones that are more better than my drone. So it's cool how the technology is. So, and looking under the Google News, it was just like, you know what? It was basically seeing, it was cool to see the person's driving as I'm sitting here parked with my car. I wouldn't even dare go live and drive with my car. That's against the law. So I'm parked right now, but if I was sitting in my vehicle right now and I was driving, they can see, you know, up in the air through your window with your phone in your hand, and they got you right there. And it is cool because they just have the radio. I know they have the radios right here, okay? And they just have to, you know, the pilot's concentrating what they're doing. The other guy that's in the van with him is on the radio and telling the other people on the ground, okay, there's a car here. We got the license plate. We know where they're driving, and let's give him a ticket because he's on his phone, you know, with the drone. So is a con, you know, like everybody says, you know, kind of invading privacy, right? Invading privacy, that you're really looking into somebody that. Well, I kind of find with, you know, it's the same thing when the police are, you know, they're in the car and they read up your license plate, right? Um, Same thing. Are they looking at you? I mean, maybe they're looking at you face to face through the drone, but I don't think so. I think they're just, you know, they're looking for to see if you actually have your phone in your hand. So then that's how they're busting you right there, and then they're radioing to the other people, and away you go. Like me being a drone operator for 5 years, I've been flying for 5 years, is you're concentrating on the road, or you're concentrating looking at your phone. Oh, I got a text, you know, I got a text, so let's just look at my phone. I'm at a red light, so let's just text on my phone, text back to my girlfriend, honey, I'm coming home, what's for supper, blah, 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 blah. But there's a drone over by the tree or even a block away. So they don't have to be close, you know? They don't have to be close to zoom in on you and get your plate number or see you're on your phone. They don't have to be close at all. And it's too late till you get busted. You can't run from sky. You just can't. And what you can see from a drone point of view, and to get what you can see, you know, this is how they can track you. It's amazing with the technology, right? And you know, I get this all the time too. You know, when I'm flying, or I'm flying uh, near downtown, or I'm out for a flight and that, you get everybody on social media, Facebook, out in my you know, hometown and stuff like that, and you read, you know, oh, was that Jamie? Was that Jamie? Was Jamie flying, or who's this? He's looking in my backyard. People automatically, when they see drones in the sky, they automatically think that they're looking right at them, and it's just a natural behavior, right? Drones are been out for a while. Drones been out for a while, guys. It's not an old thing, and it's just still, people make a big deal. There's a drone in the sky. He's watching me, checking me out. It's not never like that, you know? They'd be taking a picture, or they'd be doing something else, but they think that people are looking. It's like, no, they're not. They could be taking a picture. They could be doing real estate. They could be doing a photograph for somebody else, you know? It doesn't matter. Okay? Um, People just assume, and that's how it goes. And being a drone operator, I think a lot of people that are getting into the hobby, or people are getting into the business and whatever, I really believe this true, And it's proven fact that drone anxiety, as I call it, because people are always, they take up in the sky and they're like, oh, I'm wondering, if somebody's going to say something, or oh, I'm wondering if somebody's going to say something about my drone, or somebody's going to complain, right? You always get that fear, anxiety, as I call it. But if you can basically conquer that and basically don't have to have that anxiety, it's nothing for you when you've been doing it for a while. You just, not saying you don't give a crap, but you're just like, you know what? You're always going to have somebody, oh, there's a drone, oh, there's a drone, or oh, there's a drone. It doesn't matter. Nobody owns the sky. If you're doing your right thing, what you're doing, and or you're filming for your YouTube channel like myself, and you're minding your business, it's you have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear about. I've been approached by police quite a few times over the years that I've been flying, and these laws and regulations and privacy and everything with drones and that, if you know what you're doing, these drones are equipped with these flight logs. You can prove everything what you're doing. And this is what's cool with these expensive drones. They have flight logs. They have exactly what they're doing, their history of that flight. Right in flight, what they're doing, it sees everything, right? Roman would say there are laws for drones, probably different in every state, though. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Can answer you question in the comments in the chat. That's it. There's always different laws for every state and stuff like that. Like for here in Canada, a lot of people don't know, if you have your basic license, you can't even fly in the city. Okay? You cannot even fly in the city. Even here with Canada, with everything, you're supposed to be 100 feet above structure, 100 feet horizontally away from people, big crowds, people. There's a reason why this stuff has it, right? For, there's always something like that. So I want to touch bases with laws and regulations in another video. So I want to stay back on my topic with police. Also too, what was nice too with the police too, that they also have attachment with spotlights. So the Matrice 30 and the Matrice 300 that they have, okay? Before I go any further, I just want to say hello to Mercy. I want to say hello to Zol Jordan. Thank you very much. Luckstar, bro. Love you, bro. Always love you, bro. Thank you for coming on the show with our live video. And Roman, thank you. Shelly, okay. Thank you too. And She Gono. Sorry I weren't pronouncing your name right. If I did, thank you for joining too in the chat. Everybody that is on. Yes, we have amazing video. Welcome, sir. Support Luckstar. You guys, yeah, for sure. You guys are big supporter of Luckstar and big supporter with my channel, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Bottom of my heart, So they have a spotlight for these attachments. So basically the way they work with them is it works with the gimbal synchronized. As the camera would go down, the spotlight would go down. It basically follows the way the gimbal goes. So these spotlights, they're shining. I forget what it is for not saying voltage, but how many lume cube, like basically how the lighting is, how big it is. But basically it can shine up a whole darn park, okay? And the old days it was helicopters with the police, and now they're drones now. So, and they got the beacons on it, right? So with laws and regulations, even at nighttime anyways, you got to have a beacon on these drones so you can, not only for the airplanes, but you can see it too with line of sight with your own naked eye. And I tell everybody also too, which is basically that people don't know, these beacons at nighttime, you can actually, if you're going to go far, you can actually see your drone better at nighttime than you can in the daytime. Okay? You can see the drone better at nighttime than the daytime because you can actually see that beacon from 3 to 4 kilometers away, guys. Easily. Okay? And it is so accurate, better to see for traveling at nighttime than it is during the daytime. Because it's hard to see more in the daytime because you're not going to see the beacon, right? It's just common sense, you know. You have a Christmas tree lit up, you have Christmas lights outside. You're not really going to see it at daytime, right? You're going to see it more at nighttime, so it's going to light up like a candle in the pitch black. It's going to give light. Same thing with the drone with the beacon. You're going to see it from a distance, right? You're it's just natural. So you're just going to see, you know, you're going to see it from a distance. So it's better from doing long range at nighttime than it is during the daytime with the drone. But with police using with these lights, you know, this is way cheaper than with the helicopter. Hello, Jazz. Hello, welcome in. Thanks for the thumbs up and the likes, everybody. And I said to the police officer too, I'm like, well, basically, this drone costs $53,000. I'm like, holy smokes, this is a lot of money. It's like, holy cow. And the guy's like, that's cheap. So if you're having a helicopter, it's going to cost $1 million. So $53,000 compared to $1 million for the helicopter, the maintenance, everything that goes with the police chopper. This is very expensive. Okay? This is very expensive. Shout out to US Drone Flyer. Welcome in to my live random rant show. Thank you for coming aboard a droning with Jamie. So if a helicopter is going to cost $1 million, like, come on. And you spend a drone that's $53,000. You know, it's a way more cheaper. You don't have to do maintenance on a drone, other than if you nick a propeller blade. Or what's a propeller blade? Nothing. It's not that much money compared to a helicopter. The expense is more. The expense for the upkeep is more and more. And this is the thing. And people don't understand. They just think of, okay, $53,000. Holy moly, this is huge in expense. Like, this is so much money. So why am I going to spend $53,000 in the community? So if it's a town hall that's supporting with their budget, with their money for the police, this is what's going to cost. This is going to be with that. And I've always asked the questions, okay, can any police officer just get up and fly a drone, these drones and that? And it's like, no, the question is absolutely no. Even if they are police officers, they have to have their license through Transport Canada. This is in Canada, not the States or everybody else is in different countries, okay? But in Canada, you need, excuse me, you need your pilot license. You need your Transport Canada license. And you go to these cities, you need your advanced license. I don't care. Police officer or not, you got to have a valid drone pilot RPAS license. And have it. You have to get your license, police or not. And that's why there's always certain individuals that are pilots through Transport Canada that are drone operators, okay? There's a few select police officers that are pilots just for that. And then the other selection of the other police officers are just traffic control and everything else, right? Everybody has their part. Everybody has their individual um, their job, right? So, but with the Kingston police, both of them that I was talking to, the operators, they had their SFOC, they had their basic, their advanced, and SFOC license. They had their special license, man. They had their tickets. Now with Transport Canada here in our country, they're going having a license coming out, be a long BVLOS, Beyond Visual Line of Sight, and there's a license to get that, and it's a couple $100, and these pilots are gonna go take these. They're gonna take the license through Canada, Transport Canada, to get these next ticket for it for them to get these license permits. You know, Roman would say here in the chat here, just to respond to his chat, you have to have a pilot license in Canada to control a drone. Absolutely, you do. So to answer your question for that, Romans 12.2, to answer your question here, and I like to answer questions all the time. When I see it listed on the chat, I love to respond back to that conversation. Okay. So if there's a drone that's 249 grams and lower, you don't need a license, but you still need to obey the laws and regulations and everything else and airspace. But when you start talking over 250, you need a pilot license through Transport Canada. And a lot with this too, because when you start getting into heavier drones, I'm not saying the smaller drones you don't have the responsibility, because you still have the responsibility, but these heavier drones, they're going to cause damage if something happens. Okay. And let me touch bases with this. I had an accident 2 years ago, and I clipped a side of a branch of a tree where a vehicle was parked of doing a job, and my drone, of course, got tangled up in the branch, and it fell from the tree on top of the car, and it was only 50 feet, but it left dents right on the roof, right off the hop, and it left 4 welts in the roof. So the welts were from underneath the arms of the drone, and my drone weighed 986 grams. Okay, more than 250 grams, and it left damage in the vehicle. And yes, it's about the weight. Absolutely about the weight there, Roman. And it basically left damage. I had the police at my door because we were going through insurance about assessing this damage. But basically, the person was really great. I ain't saying no names. And she was very good with it. And I gave her $1,000 to compensate of everything that was going on. And we took it in our own matters. Well, we had the police involved, and the police were more concerned, basically more concerned if I had a pilot's license. As soon as he heard I had a pilot's license, he left me alone. It's like, okay, this is it. So we're not going to worry about it. So you guys are taking it in under your own control. So we'll just leave it like that. So, but it's about the weight. It is about the weight of it. Okay. So that's it. That's it with it. But with the police, like I say, with this live video that I'm doing, with the police, with distracted driving and the drones, it was a pretty cool setup how they had it. It was a cool setup how they had the batteries, how they had the other M30 in the case. They had another second drone, and they had the other drone, the M300, up in the air and doing its thing. And What I found really cool and impressive with the drone is even how hard the rain was coming down. Okay. And I haven't seen basically how cool this upgrades are with these drones, that you could see that camera right on the TV screen in their police van and also on the controller. It was clear as day. Okay? It was clear as day, and you could see basically um how cool it was. Okay? How cool it was that you could see it really clear as day, and it was downpouring. This is what's cool about it with the technology, right? And this is $53,000 in the sky, right? This is $53,000 in the sky, and you are basically, you know, this is cheaper than an airplane. This is cheaper than anything. So why wouldn't you buy a drone that's $53,000 than actually having that in there? Tesla in the sky. I love that, Panda. I love that. I love that. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. I'm surprised Tesla hasn't even had a drone. Wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't even surprise me in the slightest with that, with the technology, right? So, anyways, this has been a great turnout, great out chat. A lot of people. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have everybody support. As Roman would say, um, well, I wonder what type license you have to have. My work camera has a hood over, and they still get foggy with rain driplets when it's raining. So, even with your chat right there, um, even with a GoPro camera. Now, if you weren't flying in the air and you were filming from outside your vehicle or doing something, GoPro cameras are great for repel of rain, right? GoPro cameras work just as good, and they're waterproof. You can have them out in the pouring rain and let them film, and it wouldn't matter, right? It doesn't matter, you know. And I'm happy to see you there, bro. Very happy to see you there, Luxta. Love you, bro. Very happy you're on, bro. Okay. Very happy you came to my show too, and everybody else has came to my show. You know, with my live chat and my live, video with everybody, with Drone and with Jamie. You can just feel the love in the air, and I'm very thankful. And like I said, I did a video earlier yesterday about thanking everybody with 6,000 subscribers, guys. 6K over. I'll be at 7K when I know it. Like, it's just the way the numbers are still flying, like colors. Just need to get my watch hours up big time. Driving me nuts. Congratulations to reach the 6K. Subs road to 7K, Sir Dronin. Thank you very much, Jazz. Lots of love right back to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And it's going to happen. Definitely going to happen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch that, I wanted to touch bases about with the police, and cool how the technology is, and cool how it's come a long way since the 90s, okay? Since the 90s. Thank you, Liz. 11 likes. Thank you. Mwah. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. And that is the thing, like how much technology has gone up with the tech. And this is cool how everything is. And yeah, I appreciate it, Mercy. I appreciate you watching watch time on my other videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. and lots of love right to you. Um, I'm blessed. Thank you for doing that. And everybody else that supports Droning with Jamie, bless you all, everybody. I appreciate it. Everybody that's always rate hardcore to my station. Bottom of my heart, thank you. But this is cool how the technology goes and how the technology is brought to the table, how everything is. We got a little comment right here in the chat from Roman. What the police capture on their drones for traffic isn't something that regular cameras or intersections don't have a capture. It's just that since they're in the area, immediately action. Yeah. So I totally agree with that comment, buddy. And the thing is with them with that is if they're going to go for a blitz too, and they're doing this blitz, they're going to say, okay, we're going to set up here at this intersection, and we're going to park our van over the other parking spot away from the intersection, and we're just going to put the drone up in the sky. I mean, the drone, like, for me, flying drones and how they're capable to do, and my $6,000 drone does it no problem, is I don't need to go travel. You know, with these drones to zoom in, I could stay hover and zoom in quite far away, like 6, 8, 10 blocks away without even moving the drone. Just put it up in the air and then get the 28 times zoom right up in the air. These M30s and M3000s, you know, they're in the 80s. Okay? Mine's only 28, and mine can do about 6 blocks. No problem. So with their tech that they have for the $53,000 drones that they're flying and they're working with, they're in near the 70s and 80 times zoom. So you can imagine how far they can be away. Just hover it, don't move it, save the battery, let it sit in the air for an hour, and just see how many people you can get. It's crazy. It's crazy how the technology has come a long way with these drones. And they're all DJIs. This is the thing. They're all DJI drones. And with this big, huge tariff, you know, with Donald Trump and everything, and the tariffs with China, you know, the Mavic 4 Pro, when it first came out, okay, it didn't go to the States right away. It released in Canada, it released everywhere else. But China just gave the, you know, the middle finger, and like, we're not going to release it right off the bat when this drone comes out, of all this crap that's going on with this tariff with Donald Trump and everything. So we're not going to release the Mavic 4 Pro on opening release date. They didn't. China didn't do it. You know, they didn't. The DJI company didn't do it at all right off the bat. You know, and that's the thing. This is the scary part with everything with China, is all these DJI drones, all the tech now that police use with drones and everything. Their technology and everything, they're all DJI drones. They're so equipped, they're so safe. They hover. You can launch them with your hand and just let it sit there and hover. Calculates the wind, it goes, returns home. There's so much safety on these drones here. Like, they're not gonna drop out of the sky. They'll force land more than anything. They're equipped, they're safe. They own almost 80%. They're 70% right now, but I bet you they're 80% worldwide. But I know 100% right now that I can say truthfully, okay, they are 70% worldwide global marketing. DJI. You cannot replace DJI drones. I mean, there's other companies come out. There's other companies that want to compete against with DJI, but you're not going to go against DJI. It's not going to happen. They own the marketing with drones. Bottom line. So, but that's how it is, guys. And shout out to Marlin for 12 likes. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. So I got 12 thumbs up. What an awesome live show. This is awesome, you know? Nice to see so many people come off and on my live show and the support. I'm very, very blessed. Thank you very much. And Roman with the big questions and everything. I love it. I love it. And Roman says the only thing I worry about tech is genius criminals hacking into it. Yeah. Yeah, they can hack in computers. Why couldn't they hack in drones? I know, right? It's scary, scary technology. And talking about that, I'm gonna pin that. I had people even ask me, it's like, you know what? You always heard this rumor, if China went to war or whatever, or something happened with China or whatever, could China actually, they control with their drones, right? They control the updates. They send the updates with these drones. DJI owns these drones, okay? And that's why they're on the ban list. And the United States of America always wanted to ban DJI because of privacy and intelligence and everything, because China controls them, the updates, everything. It's all China. The thing is people always say, would one day would China just, push the big fat button and say, okay, these drones are not even going to spin a propeller. They're not going to, you're not going to fly them no more. The heck with you. We're not going to have you flying your drones. The hell with you. We're going to put a stop on the drones because we can control their big fat finger, I had that so many questions. Everybody asked me that. And I'm just like, I don't know. Everybody asks us that question. It's like, holy frig, like that's crazy, crazy, crazy. So are they going to do that? No, they're not going to do that because, they're selling them. They're making the money, they're in the billions. Okay. They're in the billion dollar company, DJI. And for DJI, a lot of people don't even know. So what DJI would stand for is Dijon Innovation. Innovation. Big dreams have no barriers. That's what they would always say in DJI logo slang. Big dreams have no barriers. You can appropriately fly a drone and capture whatever you want, to your laws and regulations, And that's the thing with the technology. It's so cool that you wanted to get a nice shot of your property by the river, right? By the river, and get an awesome shot of it. And it's just like, wow, I didn't know that was there, and how everything is basically structure and how the whole outline of this whole property it is. So you're seeing from a different point of view from the air versus on land. This is cool, isn't it? Just to see something like that. Hello, Sonia. Hello, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you. And I'm doing exactly what you say, bro. Exactly what you said with a vice, and I'm taking it right to your heart, right to my vice, into my heart, always. And that's the thing with the technology. It is cool how it is. And that's what you're looking for. And that's it. That's it, Sonia. The bottom of my heart to your heart. I'm taking your advice, okay? Doing exactly into my heart, into your heart, taking your advice, okay? Definitely. Thank you. And we're going to be wrapping up an hour here live, and then it's been a great live show so far, and a lot of love and support. This is what I love. Yeah. So Yeah, but with the police drones, like I say, with the police and what their setup, how they had, it was pretty darn cool to see how it is. Roman would say, hey, I like you YouTubers. You use your drones for nature, seeing videos and flying over forests, ocean, and etc. Absolutely. And that's what's cool watching other YouTubers, just not only me, but seeing other people, what they do to make something cinematic, something cool, right? Exactly. And I'm going to do another live video about my other new asset that I'm going to have to my drone collection, because I'm looking into buying another drone, which is the DJI Avata 2, and I'll explain why I'm purchasing this drone and why I'm having this into my fleet of drones, right? My fleet's of drones, so I'm going to explain why I'm using this for my cinematic, wicked, epic shot, guys. Okay? This is why I want to buy the drone. This is why I'm purchasing it, and why the reason why I want this drone. But that'll be in another live video to explain, because I'll just pop up out of anywhere doing a live show. Um, but I'll try to schedule so people know. But still, I'll still do a live about it. Okay. Um, but like I say, it was cool to see the technology, how the police had everything set up, how the police had everything um, linked up to the drone, and having two officers in there and radio command to the people that were in their cruisers nearby to do it. And as Jazz would say, drones are very expensive, and they are very expensive. I kind of got into a very expensive business, expensive hobby, as you want to say, but I haven't had a crash in 2 years, knock on wood, okay? But you know when to push your drone, you know when to like for me, for a habit, I don't risk something till I get a lot of practice. Okay? I do not risk something till I get a lot of practice before I even tempt something. Okay? Before I even tempt anything. Okay? Heart of Sonia would say, second channel also support here. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is the thing. It's practice, practice. I haven't, it's not like I've been flying drones for a year or 6 months. I've been doing it 5 years. All drones are all the same. Pretty much. They're yaw, turn, all this stuff. FPVs are always the same too, but depends to know your limitation of going into gaps, going into small gaps, your limitation, what you can push with these drones. Okay? What you can push, what is your limitation? Okay? What is your limitation, what you can do to push these drones without crashing? And the worst part of it, everybody say, and everybody asks me this, how do you find flying over water? I would not have the nerve to do that. I am so comfortable over water. And people just look at me like, I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, Jamie? You're not worried that something happens, or you're going to fall, or you're going to go into the water? Is something going to really happen? Do you ever think of that? The thing is, when you're flying and you're doing stuff, these are the moments that you don't worry about it. You just do it. Just fly and do it. When you're going in, like I have a video here. Here's a good example. I have a video on my playlist DJI FPV where I was going in a train trestle. Now this FPV is bigger than the one that I'm going to purchase. The one I'm going to purchase next week is way smaller. But this big guy, but I flew in there, is I would say to other people, the moment when you're actually going slow is when you're actually going to have an accident or you're going to fall in the water with your drone. You basically, it's hard to explain, but it's basically you got to go with the motion in the gap or whatever subject you're doing and just go with the flow. Just go a nice steady speed and go, and nothing's going to happen. But when you start going slow and you're going a little up and that, and your hands are shaking, your adrenaline are going, this is when you're going to make the mistakes. Okay. And I want to do a live video with that, with advice with people like flying drones over the water. Okay. My advice have I learned over the years, 5 years, what I've learned. I've had some close calls, but never lost a drone in the water. I've had an accident from trees and low brush trees. So basically trees, never with water. Birds are a big example that you really got to watch, especially seagulls. Seagulls are your worst enemy. They're curious because they see something else in the sky and they're gonna fly with you. And sometimes you just get in the way, right? So I should not go off topic a whole lot. My ranting and going. Because we're basically talking about with police drones and distracted driving, because that's my subject, but I kind of get wander off of my talking, and then I kind of got to think to myself, okay, Jamie, back to the subject, what we're talking about, okay? Just the way I am. Just the way I am. So, hey, be natural on YouTube, be natural the way you're talking, and talk your mind, and talk with your fans, so who cares, right? This is your channel. When you do your own channel, you do your own channel. Okay. So other than that, with police, they're using the drones. They're getting distracted driving. They're finding people if they're lost, if they're missing, right? Everything like that, right? So the drones are very, very useful. Drones are very, very, very important to the society for helping things, and especially EMS, even paramedics, right? When somebody was out hiking the mountains, or hiking out in the wilderness, right? And they're out and they break their leg, and paramedics are having a hard time finding them. Send the drone up in the air. There's a useful things with police and EMS and paramedics. Send the drone up. Somebody's drowning in the water. Somebody's at a beach. Somebody's out there. Somebody capsized their aluminum boat, 14-foot aluminum boat. EMS gets the scene. People get with their boats. Somebody's on the land. Somebody sends a drone out there. Finds exactly where they are. You see it up in the air. You see everything in one shot, in seconds. It's not minutes, not 2 minutes, not 3 minutes. You can have a drone up in the air in less than 60 seconds. You have everything hooked up. You have everything ready to go, right? You have your tablet hooked up to your DJI controller already. It's in your vehicle. Just like if I had mine right here, right now in my vehicle, it's already set up, everything. Just have to turn the drone on, turn the controller on, wait for the home point set, away I go. Just like that. Seconds, not minutes. And there's a big life change of how fast a life could be saved in seconds. And thank you for the 15 likes. Lodin Mano, if I'm pronouncing it right, thank you very much for the 15th like. 15 likes with everybody. That is so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shout out to you too. Thank you. So yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if people are using drones for roofers. I sit and I have a coffee. I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm just, have time to myself, and I see a roofer right now, right where I'm sitting right now, JJ's Reynolds, or a roofer. They have a mini drone. They don't need a license for it. So people are buying mini drones like crazy. So maybe he has a mini drone, send the drone up, check to see how the shingle damage is. You don't have to use a ladder. Send the drone up. You figure out exactly what the problem is, what the issue is. So the technology, how drones have come a long way with everything, how useful they are, is very cool. Very cool how the industry is today and how things are, right? And this is what's cool about the technology today with drones. And they're using drones for in the States too, right? They're using drones for deliveries now. And it's like, wow. That's a thing that they're still working on, doing drone deliveries. This is a thing that they're still working on today, before they really get crazy about it. Roman would say, I heard of people using drones to drop contrabands in prison yards. Yeah, people. And then that's a huge, big thing. So even down when I went down in Kingston, Ontario, where I saw the police and that, and they tell me that too. It's everyday basis. People are using drones to drop drugs into prisons. And that's a huge no-no, because people that get caught with doing that, they're in jail automatically. There's no fine. There's no nothing. You're totally going against the law with stuff like that. Even people even going towards the states, from Canada to the states, or the states going to Canada. I've heard people smuggle with drugs here. Guns and everything. You know what? The technology today, what they can do and what they can pinpoint, you're just stupid to do something like that. And something for me or anybody to even think of that, you're going to be caught. It's not maybe you won't at first, but you will the second time. But is it really risky something to do like that? No, definitely not. It's not even worth it. And it's crazy what people will do with drones and what they would think. Um, Even with funny things seen on YouTube, people use drones for fishing. So they would hook the line up. Uh, you can get an airdrop with your drone from Amazon easily, $35. Uh, Attach the line, go out for 600 feet out, if you have enough fishing line, drop the lure, and it's already hooked up to your fishing rod. So it just saved you big time casts you would never dream about to go far, right? I used to fish and then I got out of fishing. So would I try it with an older drone? People even ask me that. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't even try to, but I don't care. But could you do that? Easily. Easily. Attach the line, go 400 or 500 feet, drop the lure with the drone, and it's already on your fishing. You already have your fishing pole, so have somebody hold it and then drop it, and then away you go. You just did a long cast. Look at you go. I've seen people do that on YouTube and see that, and it's just like, this is pretty cool how somebody just thought about something like that. So, or stupid people using them and trying to catch a fish and pull them up. You're gonna lose your drone. Like, come on, that's just silly. But it's funny to see something like that, and you're just like, okay, that's a silly way to do it, but people do it. People do it. People do it all the time, right? So, um, but yeah, like I say, it was cool to see with the police. It was cool to see the technology and everything, how they do it, right? And how they have their system rigged up in this van. It was pretty cool. So check it out on my YouTube channel. Check it out. and see. It's under my shorts and my link. Check it out, and it's pretty cool because I did some recording. I asked them before I even did it. Okay, so I asked them before I even did it, and they were cool about it. And I went and recorded it, and I thought, you know what, this will be cool to upload this on my YouTube channel and show everybody what it's like, what the police do here in Canada. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody with my live comment show that I had, and it was a great conversation. And I have to wrap this up, and that is my rant for my subject with police and distracted driving. Next video, I'll try to plan a time schedule that I do with other advice with different with drones, and try to upload it. And then if I can't figure it out and all of a sudden I do a live show, then I'll just pop it up, right? So if you haven't subscribed, any new people that are on the chat, please subscribe. And I'm very blessed with everybody. And Roman, with all the questions, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I love it when I have a lot of people asking questions and mentioning. It was nice chatting with you, Roman, and everybody else in the chat. And Heart of Sonia and Luxta, bro. Love you, bro. And love you, Sonia, and everybody else with support. Zol and everybody else, and Jazz. Everybody that was support with Lockstar, and the people that were in on my live video. I appreciate every bit of you, everybody. So lots of love, and you will see me next time on my next live. Thank you, everybody. Bye.